Any lessons for Democrats going forward?
100%. Look, the good guys can win. And this is something that the bad guys rely on you not believing.
Right.
The bad guys want you to think they can never get beaten. They want you to think they can, once they're in forever. Well, corruption, as I wrote today on my Substack, is the killer app. Voters hate corruption. And this is interesting because we're seeing it starting to play out here in America. Even MAGA voters are starting to say, he didn't drain the swamp, he made it deeper. He didn't clean up Washington, he made it worse. He's part of the problem now. That idea that self-dealing and kleptocracy and your friends getting contracts and deals and all that other crap, the idea that all that adds up into something that is politically insufferable and intolerable is 100% the case. And the other thing is, Hungary's corporate media capture is even broader than America's. There is no MSN in Hungary. There's not even a CNN in Hungary. It ranges. It would be as if Fox was too liberal here in America. And so they would have OAN and Newsmax as the major news outlets. But they did get around it. They did move around it. As long as there's an internet, folks, we're going to get around it. And corporate media in America has been cautious and captured and bought in a lot of places. But the independent journalism space that we operate in now, the independent media space we operate in, is increasingly powerful. It has a reason for people to look to it because we're going to tell you the truth. We're not going to BS you, good or bad. Are we still in terrible danger as a democracy? Oh, hell yeah. Did we have a good weekend? Did we have a good weekend with Orban going down, J.D. Vance beclowning himself on the world stage, Trump tweeting that he's Jesus? Yeah, we had a pretty good weekend. But independent media is vital, I think, coming forward because we're going to be voices that are out there without having to worry about whether the president can call and cancel our broadcast license. All we got is an internet connection, y'all, and it works.
Very much true. And as much as Brendan Carr, the FCC chair, would love to have the ability to have jurisdiction over all of us here, he does not, and I'm sure he's upset about that. When I always ask this question,
in the traditional Republican way of wanting government to run media.
I know it's unbelievable. This is the flip side. This is the mirror. All the things they accuse Democrats of. I just read a report, and it's true.
It's all projection, Dean. It's all projection.
But did you see they subpoenaed a anonymous Reddit user for criticizing ICE, and Jeanine Pirro is not giving up on this. And I'm like, that's where you are. You imagine if the Biden administration subpoenaed a Reddit user who was anonymous for criticizing the administration.
The world would lose. The Fox world would lose its damn mind for a year. There'd be siren headlines like outrageous violation of rights, Obama's surveillance state, all that, all that crap would be coming.
But, so last thing, I always ask you about advice you have for Democrats. We are within 6 months of the midterm election. This is the most important election, not of our lives. And I put most important election in the life of our republic. This election is everything, folks. It really is. So what advice do you give Democrats now as we get ready and focus on the midterm?
Don't abandon corruption, stick with affordability, and link the corruption in Washington to the affordability crisis at home. These people are realizing all of a sudden that people in D.C. are doing just fine.
Yeah.
People on Wall Street are doing just fine. Silicon Valley is doing just fine. They're getting screwed by people in D.C. who can afford better lobbyists and more PR. And those people are getting everything they want. We had to give Elon Musk a tax cut. What, did America's struggling billionaire class not make it last year somehow? Was it just too hard for them? Linking those things, this is not an election about the big picture Democratic policy stuff. It is about big picture democracy stuff. That includes whether people get a fair shot in the economy. That includes whether the president is a criminal. That includes whether people who commit crimes inside the White House and inside Congress are held to account. All of it has to be a part of an overall theme. Corruption is the killer app, and the economy is the operating system Democrats can win on in 2026.
Yeah, and in Hungary, what was remarkable, Peter Magyar, I'm probably ruining his last name.
Magyar.
Not only talked about corruption, but had the split screen of how the corruption, these guys living in wealth with zebras, literally zebras,
Zebras in the zoo.
right?
Yeah.
Zebras, and the average person, their unemployment's at 10-year high. People are struggling. So that split screen is great. Also, one last thing I wanted to ask you about. He also is calling for accountability on the corruption. He's going to rejoin the EU's prosecutor's office to look
Yep.
at crime, have a whole committee to look back at maybe wrongdoing. Should Democrats be calling for accountability too, as they talk?
100%. Here's the thing that I wanted to focus on. Don't go out on the trail and go, we're going to impeach Donald Trump. It doesn't work. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Okay. We're still not going to have 60 votes in the Senate to impeach Donald Trump, y'all. I hate to tell you, even if we win the Senate, we ain't going to have 60 votes. It's not going to happen. But what you should be saying is, we're going to bring people who are stealing from you, like Kristi Noem, and lying to you about criminality, like Pam Bondi. We're going to bring them up here. We will impeach them. We will hold them to account. We will see that they pay a penalty for screwing over the American people. We will call Howard Lutnick, whose son is making outside deals.
Yep.
We will call Jared Kushner, who's serving as the president's chief negotiator and going and asking the same people he's negotiating with to invest in his hedge fund. All those, we will call the Trump sons for their crypto griftapalooza. All those things don't just connect to impeaching Trump or getting rid of Trump. They tell people you're going to hold bad guys accountable. And there's too many people in the country who think, oh, Washington, they're all the same. Republican, Democrats, all the same. Democrats need to show people they're not all the same.